Miss Houston, one of the most successful singers of all time, sold about 170 million albums with more to come after her death. In 2001, she signed a $100 million record contract, at the time the biggest deal in music history. But it wasn't enough. Like so many pop stars, Miss Houston became addicted to drugs. Over the years, she was in and out of rehab, apparently using powerful addictive narcotics like cocaine. Reports say she also drank heavily. It is obvious the woman destroyed herself, and over the weekend she was found dead in a bathtub at a Los Angeles hotel. Ms. Houston leaves an 18-year-old daughter who had to be hospitalized after learning of her mother's death. Incredibly, at a pre-Grammy Award party, singer Tony Bennett offered this solution to Ms. Houston's demise.
Let's legalize drugs like they did in Amsterdam, and it's a very sane city now. No one's hiding, no one's running around corners trying to sneak up to find something. They have to go to a doctor and get it. And if the doctor doesn't want to give it to them, they don't get it. And it's called sanity instead of insanity.
Well, with all due respect to Mr. Bennett, his grasp on reality is slipping. Ms. Houston was found with a variety of legalized drugs in her hotel room. Apparently, she took some of them and expired. Tony Bennett might want to rethink his contention that easier access to narcotics would have helped Whitney Houston. As a factor recently reported, the OxyContin epidemic is killing thousands of Americans all over the country. That is a legal drug available by prescription. Also, medical marijuana is now legalized in many places, and we now have Americans legally getting stoned every day on pot. Alcohol is legal. An estimated 10% of American adults have problems with booze. So what exactly does legalizing narcotics bring us? More availability. That's what. Whitney Houston wanted to kill herself. Nobody takes drugs for that long if they want to stay on the planet. She follows in the footsteps of Elvis, Janis Joplin, Michael Jackson, and scores of other entertainment figures. The hard truth is that some people will always want to destroy themselves, and there's nothing society can do about it. What the government can do is design programs that make it use hard narcotics. There are countries in the world, like Singapore, where drug abuse is rare. If the Singaporean authorities find a citizen using drugs, that person goes into a facility. It's mandated and stays there for quite some time. Of course, the ACLU would go nuts if that were imposed in America, but there should be some middle ground. Czech is disgusted by people who say that selling narcotics is not a violent crime. Ron Paul has insinuated that, and he is desperately wrong. The doctor who prescribed those drugs for Whitney Houston had to know she was a drug addict. Everybody knew that. Yet an MD apparently gave her powerful legal narcotics. The same thing happened to Michael Jackson. It is estimated that 75% of all the child abuse and neglect in this country is caused by adults who are substance abusers. Crime is driven by drug-addicted people. Inner city violence is driven by drug sellers. In Mexico, the drug cartels have almost taken over the entire country. When will society wake up? Drugs are dangerous, not just to people like Whitney Houston, but to all of us. Legalizing them will have all kinds of unintended consequences, especially for children. What happened to Whitney Houston is awful, and I said a prayer for her last night. But her death should at least start people thinking, and Tony Bennett should be first on that list, followed by Ron Paul.